Hi everyone. I hope this video finds you well, of course, as always. I just wanted to do a quick video on dreams. I think it's a huge field of curiosity, and I've read a lot of books on them. We all experience them, I think, and there's a lot of uh, theories about what they are, not just psychologically, but also uh, as far as spiritual, all things. Spiritual in nature go. What are they? Do they mean anything? That sort of thing. So I'm going to try to summarize my understanding of these sorts of things to help kind of give a context around what exactly dreams are, and so that this sort of definition can really be applied to anything. Find like the underlying truth here and share that with you guys. So to start off, uh, our minds, basically, so non-physically, we store all our experiences, direct, even indirect, like things that we may pick up with our peripheral vision. Everything we read, see, hear, experience, taste, eat, smell, that sort of thing is stored in our memory base. And we can draw this information up. It's like a fluid, non-physical database. And it can even pick up stuff when we're not aware of it. Like, when you're sleeping, for example, and you leave the TV on and your movie's playing and you're like, well, weird, I dreamt of this movie, or I was playing a song and I heard this song on my radio and I woke up and it was playing. Definitely possible. So, because stimuli, just because our conscious awareness is shut off doesn't necessarily mean that, our body and our mind isn't saving imprints of sound, that sort of thing. Not visually, of course, because our eyes are closed, but so it's a very fluid, non-physical. It's our mind, it's our experience. It's where we draw up our language, our ideas, our thoughts, our memories, our ideas, that sort of thing. We build on it too as we analyze things in our mind, and can build this database and that sort of thing. So it's very reactive too. So it's not just dormant all the time. So energy, I like the analogy of throwing a pebble in the water. How like the pebbles kind of ripple. That can happen very, very easily. So, and I can actually hear this sometimes in my own mind, which is really weird. It took some getting used to and understanding what was going on, believe it or not. So, like if I hear, remember this data is in here, it's all stored. And when it's accessed, it's kind of just like a computer. So it can really start analyzing things. And when you listen to it, it sounds just like you because it is you. It's a reflection of who you are. Of course, we store data and we bring it up in our conscious mind, and this is how we think and act and that sort of thing. So, but so sometimes I'll hear something and I'll hear my mind start to analyze it as if it's me, speaking out loud or that sort of thing. It's kind of weird. So, because remember, this data is in here and you can just kind of explore it in your mind. It's just one of those things you have to get used to because we're so used to only drawing up uh, individual words or ideas or thinking, one line at a time, that sort of thing. But all this data is packed in there, so it can be accessed. We're just so focused to, think in words or phrases or that sort of thing. So we're just kind of trained to really only use our minds a certain way. So it's kind of funny when things kind of do that. And you can hear them. This is how energy can even emanate off your soul, for example. So just like when you pick things up, while you're sleeping. So if there's like a strong sound or that sort of thing, you could really, like images or sounds or that kind of sort of thing, can kind of emanate off your soul from your database. You don't lose your memory or anything like that. It's just kind of like it's fluid like water, and it responds like that to it, and it can dissipate when there's stimuli and that sort of thing. So that being said, this is really when we go to sleep, this energy, we close our eyes and our conscious mind shuts down. and body goes into rest mode, that sort of thing. And we don't see or hear anything, and everything just kind of shuts down. But this data, this information, it's still there, and it's very, very active. So it's really like experiencing your own inner database or your soul's energy with your eyes closed. So we're just not conscious of this sort of thing. Just like in a waking state, most people aren't really conscious of this sort of energy unless they start to experience it or become aware of it. But it's there. So it's very easy to, when you're in a deep state of where your conscious mind is shut off, it's like you just close your eyes and you'll just see, an image, or you'll start to hear something that's stored in your mind. And then you start to experience it. So you focus on it, and really, that's what a dream is. It's the random. Sometimes there could be a reason behind it, but it's a random tuning into your own mind, or your own memory, or your own soul, however you look at it, and you just start to become aware of images, sounds, experiences. We have 5 senses. Our memories store things in a 5-sense non-physical manner, and that's what kind of we start to become aware of. That's why sometimes they may be relevant to something you just read or a conversation you just had, or it could be totally random. It could just be like creating things randomly. Again, it's very fluid, so all this information is bubbling up at once, and you're just kind of aware of it in a random manner of speaking, and you may be having experiences or thoughts or memories you never had before, because they're kind of forming in the moment. So that's what dreams are, is becoming aware of our soul, basically, our mind and everything that's stored in there. And now the cool thing is because with communicating with the spiritual realms, it's all non-physical energy. So meaning everything that exists there is non-physical, so we can't hear them with our physical ears and that sort of thing. So that takes practice, using the same faculties that we do to, re-experience all 5 senses mentally. In other words, using your spiritual ears, and just like we hear our own thoughts, learning to see more non-physical energy. So remember, everything that physical has a non-physical duality. So we are literally 100% physical, and there's an identical copy of us non-physically existing in the same space. It's just the fundamental nature of physicality. So there's a physical, non-physical duality, period. Everything physical has this. So that's how we're able to experience things with non-physical senses. Now, beings and forms of life in the afterlife are purely non-physical. They can't change or interact with physical energy, but they can communicate with us because we're made of non-physical energy too. And that being said, that's what lucid dreaming is. So you can still communicate in your sleep, which is kind of interesting. Just like you can, when like psychics do when they're awake. They use the same abilities and same senses to do that when they're awake. It's just a matter of getting used to that when your body's asleep and you're using strictly your non-physical senses to communicate with the spiritual realms. So what's fascinating is you can receive messages and have communication and not even be aware of it. Because remember, our conscious mind is shut off. So we're not in control of our thoughts and our memories and everything like that while we're asleep. But as fluid as this data is, it doesn't take much stimuli for, like I was saying earlier, literally I could start having a thought and I could just listen to my mind and it'll start to analyze it as if I'm saying it out loud. And it's like, this or that or this or that, that sort of thing. And it's kind of funny, actually. And it'll go forever if I keep listening to it. That being said, the same experience or phenomenon can occur when you're asleep. And your mind just kind of starts chattering on a subconscious level. You're not even aware of it. And you can start communicating. And these beings may or may not be aware that you're fully conscious or not, but you're having a very real conversation with them. So you may wake up with memories or ideas that weren't there before, like, oh, that was really weird. That was really real. I just had this dream, that sort of thing. It occurred. It was just kind of you not being aware of it occurring. You were a computer, if you will, your database just kind of coming to life and doing what you would normally communicate, or how you would act with people without even realizing it. Now, if you're able to be aware of this, it's a field of knowledge called lucid dreaming, which is pretty cool. And it just takes some training. I can't do it. And it's a skill that you have to get good at. I've had kind of a semi-lucid experiences. I think we all have before. We've had dreams that are just random or outside our control, or we're observing them and we're aware they're occurring, but we don't take control of the situation. But we can kind of guide what's happening. Like, oh, there's a pond. I think I'll go fishing in it. So you go fishing in a dream. But it's not like you're fully, it's as if it's you. It's kind of like blips in the radar, off and on, off and on. Some stuff may make sense. All of a sudden it switches scenery, so it's a little bit, we've had, I think, many of us have probably had these experiences while dreaming where it's semi-lucid and we're aware and we can control it to a certain degree. But it's just like any skill, the more you get good at it, and you're able to be aware of this energy while you're asleep without it, waking you up, of course, you can communicate just like psychics do when they're awake. So it's like a whole nother skill set. And it's pretty fascinating, but that's exactly how messages can occur when you're dreaming and sleeping and not be aware of it, or be aware of it. So dreams other than that are simply just our kind of mind, our awareness, our random awareness of things that have happened or not happened. We're just kind of engaging our soul energy without full control, or that sort of thing. So it's a way to explore your own mind when you're asleep, or that sort of thing, or even think, or just like you do when you're awake, or to communicate with the people that anybody in the spiritual realm, just like when you're awake. So I think it's pretty cool. That's what dreams are, really that's it. So it's just it's a platform for communication. It's our own mind. It's our own soul. It's ourselves. It's all our data that's stored in there. It's just a different way of experiencing it, or as a tool to kind of explore the reality of the spiritual realms while you're asleep. So very cool. I think that kind of sums it up. And I think I mentioned everything, pretty sure, that I wanted to anyways. Hopefully I'm not missing anything. If I did, feel free to let me know, or any ideas or thoughts, that sort of thing. But hopefully this gives kind of a basic starting point and context as to what dreams are exactly, and what these mechanisms are at play, whether we're aware of them or not. So there's a consistent understanding of what's occurring in all realms, actually. All realms of knowledge regarding this sort of thing. Everything from psychology to spiritual abilities to just how the mind works, and non-physical energy and that sort of thing. So really cool stuff. I just wanted to share. And of course, any thoughts or ideas or questions or anything, please let me know. I hope you found it informative. If so, I'd love to hear that too, or shoot me an email. Or if you like the video, definitely feel free to like or subscribe, and I'll be putting out more information on more topics, and can't wait. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.